What's up, Bargain family? Welcome back to my channel. So today for you guys I have a Dollar Tree vintage Christmas DIY video. So I'm going to be showing you some DIYs that have a vintage theme to them, and I will say this was probably the hardest theme I've done so far because Dollar Tree doesn't really carry many items that are easy to switch to a vintage theme. So I really hope you guys enjoy these DIYs and have been enjoying all the Christmas ones I've been doing. I don't know when I'm going to stop, so as long as you guys keep watching, giving the videos a thumbs up, I'm going to continue uploading some Christmas DIYs, but I just don't know when. It's kind of irrelevant, you know? I don't know, but Christmas is like freaking coming super fast. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, like I said, let's see if we can get this video to 5,000 thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not, and click the bell button, and I said that weird, bell button, to be notified every single time that I upload. With that being said, let's begin the video.
So we are going to start off with my favorite DIY out of all of them. It is these Christmas books. From Dollar Tree, you want to pick up some of their books. I recommend the paperback cover books for this, but you can do hardcover as well. Now, if you do get the hardcover ones, you do want to remove the paper cover that's over it. Then you're going to print out some images offline and resize them to fit your books. All I was doing was going to Google and typing in vintage Christmas images, vintage snowman image, vintage Santa Christmas card to try to find images that I like. Now, once you have them printed out, you can then take a scissor and cut them. I recommend overcutting, then cutting the image out exactly the size that it is. So any like leftover, I guess, printing paper that's showing on the sides of the image, I recommend leaving that in and not cutting it off. So what you'll do is you'll wrap your image around the book, make sure it fits perfectly, and just kind of create the creases you need for the paper to stay in place as you glue it down. The glue I'm going to be using is Mod Podge. I mean, honestly, you can use any type of glue. It's just the glue I had on hand other than hot glue and a glue stick. So what I did is I just applied Mod Podge all over the book, and I glued down the paper. I made sure that the paper went on the side of the book as well, and I just glued it all on. I took my time doing it, and I did this to 3 books total. One of the books that I made, I ended up taking an extra piece of printing paper and gluing that to the back, so the entire thing was kind of cohesive. But you don't have to do that because it kind of just depends how you display your books, because if the back isn't going to be showing, you don't really have to go putting a picture on the back. If it is going to be showing, then I recommend putting a picture or some extra printing paper on the back. A cute little addition to this, but you don't have to do it, is to add ribbon or twine around the books. Just tie it around. I think it looks really cute this way. You can even add greenery to it, but this is something that is optional. You don't have to do it at all. And that was it for the books, which I absolutely love. I have gone to Marshall's before, and they have them for $7.99 there, and I was like, no, I'm not going to buy them. I'm just going to make them. I know I can make them for cheaper. Now moving on to these ornaments. Now I went to Hobby Lobby. I saw ornaments that look like this, and they were $2.99, sale price $1.50 each. I decided to make them. So again, you want to go online and find images that have the vintage feel that you like. So again, I was typing vintage reindeer, vintage snowman, vintage snowman, vintage elf, trying to find like something I could use. And then I just kind of resize those on befunky.com, and then I go ahead and I cut them out to get them ready to glue on to glittery scrapbook paper. So Dollar Tree carries glittery paper in packs of 4. I'm using a gold glittery one, and what I'm doing is I'm taking my image and I am gluing it to the glittery paper. But first I take the glittery paper, cut it out. I don't even know why I have to keep saying glittery paper, but anyways, I cut it out to the shape that I want it to be, and then glue the printed paper on top of that. And again, I just used Mod Podge to glue it on. You can see the images for the ornaments. The ink is a little faded. My printer started to give out on ink when I printed out the images for the ornaments. So once I have the image glued, I want to make a little hole, and to do that I took a nail from Dollar Tree and I just made a hole inside of the ornament so then I could hang it. And to hang it, I'm just using the hooks from Dollar Tree. I put it through the hole I made, and then I'm able to put it on a Christmas tree. Something else you can do that I didn't do was take extra scrapbook paper and glue that to the back of the ornament so that the front and the back are glittery. But that's something that's up to you. I didn't do that because I don't plan on actually using these ornaments. So yeah, I skipped that step. But you know, there are things you can do to make this look even cooler. You can even use foam board if you wanted to. And that was it for my ornaments. If you have ink in your printer, they'll come out better than this. I don't think they're bad. It's just like I said, the ink was a bit faded. Now moving on to this wreath. I really wanted to make a tinsel wreath. I recently saw that Walmart has vintage wreaths like this, but I haven't found one in stores, so I decided to make my own. I went ahead and I printed out a vintage reindeer. You know, if you took a shot every single time I said vintage in this video, I'm positive you'd be drunk by now. Anyways, not even drunk. You'd having to go to like the ER. Anyways, so I go ahead, I cut that deer out. I'm not just going to glue that piece of paper directly to the wreath because it'll be too flimsy. So to thicken it up, I took some school glue, placed it on the back of my cutout, and then I placed that on top of foam board that I got at Dollar Tree. So the foam board is going to help thicken it up so I could place it on the wreath without it being flimsy. So I place the paper down onto the foam board and then I cut it out. You could use a razor if you have one. I ended up using a razor and then switching to a scissor. It just worked out better for me. For the wreath, I am using this foam wreath from Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to be wrapping some silver tinsel garland around it. So when I wrap it around, I just take the end of the garland, tie it, and then I wrap it around. I didn't really have to use any hot glue. You can use hot glue if you want to, and one of them was enough to cover around the wreath. I then took some white garland that I got, it's still tinsel garland, and then I got another one that had like snowflakes on it, and both of those I wrap around the wreath as well. I had to initially glue on the pieces of the white tinsel to wrap it around without it like falling apart on me. Then I go ahead and glue my reindeer to the wreath. And then I decided to decorate this. Now I'm using pearls from Dollar Tree. They carry 3 different sizes you can get in packs. I used the medium size one, and I'm using hot glue just to attach it to my wreath. I wanted to add some pink and turquoise color pearls, and so those ones I actually got at Joann Fabrics. It's in the beads that you would use, so the string of beads that you would use for bracelets, and it's less expensive to go to Joann Fabrics, get those, than it is to take the pearls from Dollar Tree and then try to paint them. Dollar Tree does carry adhesive rhinestones that come in those pink and blue colors, but they're just small. So now I'm going to be using these blue, pink, and green ornaments that I got for $3 at Target. I figured it was cheaper to get them already made than getting Dollar Tree ornaments and then trying to paint them. So what I'm doing is I'm just placing them on the wreath and deciding how I want them to lay on the wreath before I glue them down. And then I go ahead and glue them down. And like I said, for me, it made more sense to get them from Target versus me trying to get some ornaments from Dollar Tree and then spray painting them. And I knew for me it was going to be more cost effective and it was going to look nicer than me trying to paint the Dollar Tree ornaments. And that's it for the wreath. It looks so good with the little pastel vintage reindeers that I have. Now moving on to this Christmas countdowner, I don't know what you want to call it. It's almost like a calendar. So Dollar Tree right now is carrying these things, like I said, don't know exactly what you want to call them. Inside of them, there are blocks that have numbers and months, so you can change it to the date. So what I did is I printed out an image of a reindeer again, and I cut out a circle around the reindeer. To get a perfect circle, I actually just used this bowl that I got from Dollar Tree. I used the top of it to get a wider circle. This is honestly the easiest DIY of them all. After I got my image cut out, I go ahead and glue it to the llama. They carry like different ones of these at Dollar Tree. There's one that has a tree and then one that has a unicorn. I'm using the llama one, and the llama and unicorn one have white blocks. The tree one has black blocks. So it kind of depends what you want. So I glue that image to the llama, and then I added some pieces of foam board to the back of my image because since it's paper, it was going to be flimsy if nothing was holding it and the spots where the llama wasn't. So I added foam board to those spots. And then I painted the box red. You can paint it like red beforehand. I just didn't know what direction I was going in, and then that was literally all I did. And this thing came out super cute, and I actually saw something online for 20 bucks very similar to it. Now moving on to these little reindeer snow globes. So I was at Hobby Lobby and I found this cute little ornament snow globe with a vintage looking reindeer inside of it. It was originally $7.99 and I paid $3.50 for it, and I couldn't find anything bigger, so I decided to make a bigger one. I found this fishbowl at Dollar Tree, and what I did is I cut a piece of foam board to fit what would be the top of the vase. So the top of the vase is now going to be the bottom. For the fake snow, I am going to be using dusters from Dollar Tree. They come in a 3-pack, and I actually got this idea from Cheap Crafty Girl. She hauled them and she was saying that people use them for snow. I was like, oh, that's a great idea. So I just cut the duster down to fit the top of my piece of foam board, and then I glue it to the foam board. Now I'm taking a small miniature white Christmas tree from Dollar Tree and cutting the top of it because I need to shorten it to fit the inside of the glass. And once I have it shortened, I add the bottom snow back to the bottom of the tree, and then I go ahead and I paint the tree. I'm using this light baby blue color that I actually got from Michael's, and I just take a paintbrush and paint the edges of the Christmas tree. I really like the color of this paint. Once I paint the tree, I go ahead and glue that onto the snow. Now for the reindeers I am using these little pink reindeers that I got at Target. They come in a 2-pack for $3, so technically $1.50 each, which is not much more than what you're going to pay for something like that at Dollar Tree, and you can't find anything like that at Dollar Tree. They don't even have tiny little reindeers that you can kind of paint. They have ones that are like bigger ornaments and they just won't fit inside of the glass. So I glue my reindeer down and then I place my glass on top of the piece of foam board. I did take some white paint and a small little paintbrush I got from Dollar Tree and added small little white dots to kind of look like snow. And then I took a snowflake ornament that I got from Dollar Tree and just glued that to the top. They do have snowflake stickers that you can add around the glass, but I just couldn't find any. And that was it for the bigger little snow globe. Oh my gosh, I love this thing. So freaking cute. I can even paint the eyes to look like the one from Home Depot if I wanted to. Finally, this vintage Christmas tree that reminds me of things I grew up with. Not exactly to the T, but it reminds me of it. So from Dollar Tree, you want to pick up one of their little Christmas trees. And as usual, if you've seen any of my Christmas DIYs, you know what I'm going to say right now. These things are very sparse. It looks funny. So what you can do is you can get some of their garland ties or regular garland and wrap it around the Christmas tree so that the Christmas tree doesn't look so sad. You can clearly see it looks 10 times better once I added the garland around the tree than initially. Now I'm going to be adding this red beaded garland around my Christmas tree as well. I just kind of wrap it around and then figure it out later how the placement will be, because working with this tiny Christmas tree can be a pain in the butt sometimes when you're wrapping things around it. So I usually just wrap it and fix it later. Actually, any Christmas tree. My big Christmas tree, I had an issue too when I was trying to put ribbon around it. Anyways, now I'm going to be adding some ornaments. The ornaments I'm using are from Dollar Tree, and I'm using smaller ones that come in a 3-pack of different colors. So I had red, gold, and green, and I just put them all over the Christmas tree. I didn't get ornament hooks. I just used the branches to string the ornaments through, and then if, I didn't have a branch that I could necessarily place an ornament at, I just glued it on. I then added some of the smaller vintage ornaments that I made earlier on to the Christmas tree. Now, when I think of like the Christmas trees I had growing up, even though technically I don't think it's considered vintage just yet, or even just vintage Christmas trees, I think of tinsel, like tinsel all over the Christmas tree. So Dollar Tree, I couldn't find tinsel there at all, like the loose tinsel, so I ended up getting some at Walmart for 98 cents, and I just put that on the tree. And when I was younger, every single time that we used to decorate, there was always tinsel on the trees. And I'm surprised about that because it makes such a mess. For the tree skirt, initially I used this winter hat that I got at Dollar Tree. I cut it so that it could be wrapped around the bottom of the tree. But in the introduction shots and the shots you'll see in a second, once I placed the tree near the rest of my vintage decor, it looked better with doilies at the bottom versus the hat. So I went ahead and I used that in introduction shots. But if you want to use the little hat, you can do that as well. For the tree topper, I'm using small little gift bows that I got from Dollar Tree. They do carry a little star you can put at the top of their mini trees. I just didn't have one on hand. So that is it for these vintage Christmas DIYs. I hope you guys enjoyed it, especially if you're into this style. Hopefully it inspired you to create your own. And if you didn't like it, I'm sorry. Better luck to us next time. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.